Hi, I'm Janice from Really Kid Friendly, and today on Brit Mums we're talking about whether or not your child should dress according to gender stereotypes. Now I'm sort of in two minds about this because partly I kind of grew up as a bit of a tomboy. I was always wearing my brother's hand-me-downs or my male cousin's hand-me-downs or random things handed over from our neighbour, and it just didn't really, I kind of sometimes had girls' clothes, sometimes had boys' clothes, and I think I turned out okay. I mean, I know I had a few issues when I was a teenager and people actually throwing me out of the girls' bathroom because I thought I was a boy. I had really short hair and I had this very boyish clothes. But I don't think that actually that it fundamentally changed me, whether I was wearing girly stuff or boyish stuff. And in the same way now, actually, my little boy, who is 2.5, he loves dressing up. He puts on his fireman outfit, he puts on his crocodile suit, he puts on a little police helmet, or he'll put on a teal rah-rah skirt and silver shoes or a fairy dress or whatever he wants, and he sort of, and I don't stop him, and he absolutely loves dressing up, and I do find it slightly disturbing when he wears the little silver high heels or the ones with the little bows on them, but actually I find it disturbing when my daughter wears those as well. So but there's something about him that is so completely a boy that actually even when he's wearing a pink dress, he still just looks like a boy in a dress. And ultimately I don't really think that matters. But saying that, I'm really aware of this, the issue of the genderless baby. In Canada there was a family who basically have decided to keep their baby's gender a secret. And partly I just think that must be so incredibly difficult, never saying he or she, and trying to sort of remind yourself not to say it. But also I'm really struck by the character Frankie from Skins. One of the most interesting things about her character is that people are so focused on whether she's a boy or a girl or if she's straight or gay, and it's because she sort of looks a little bit, she has sort of a very androgynous sort of look. And it just made me think, actually, one of the things with gender stereotypes, which I think is a positive thing, is it gives us a framework. So people have an expectation of what they're going to see when you walk in the room. And if they're surprised, then they'll be focusing on the wrong things and not on what you're saying. So for example, so let's say you go to a business meeting, and rather than wearing something kind of smart and a necklace or something and putting on a little bit of makeup, instead of that you end up wearing some shorts and some sports sandals and just some random old t-shirt that you pulled out of your drawer. Now people will be, it's not that you kind of have become less intelligent or less important or less able to join in the discussion, but because you're wearing something that people didn't expect, they're going to be sitting there the whole time focusing on what you actually did choose to wear, and they don't listen to you because they're sitting there thinking about your sports sandals, and they're kind of confused, and then their focus goes on that, and they stop listening to what you're saying, and they stop taking you seriously. And I think if you come back to the gender issue, I think in the same way, if you have a little boy who comes to school wearing a dress, they're not likely to be thinking about what his aptitudes are, what his talents are, what he likes doing. They're going to be thinking about the dress. And in the same way, if a girl sort of wears something really boyish, or if she sort of looks a little bit androgynous, then people are going to be talking about, oh, is she lesbian? Part of the thing about, I guess, dressing for your gender is that it does make other people around us more comfortable. So part of me sort of thinks that people who don't do that, and actually I'm sort of, I'm guilty of that probably half the time. I do wear things that are quite boyish about half the time. But I do also know that in certain circumstances, I want people around me to feel more comfortable, and I want them to know how to deal with me, and I want them to be thinking about what I'm saying and not what I'm wearing. So that's sort of where I am on this issue. And yes, my little boy is going to continue wearing pink dresses. Hopefully, I am really hoping he doesn't wear them when he's a teenager, but as far as I'm concerned, when he's 2.5 years old, it doesn't really matter.